That is going to be so easy. Alright, well, first pull that off. Get rid of you. Pull that off. And then we get rid of you. Yeah, we can get rid of you. I don't care. You, I don't need. I like these two, though. Alright, well. We have. Ooh, another chat.
Oh, hey there, Vallis. Germain. Or is it Dredgen Hope? You know it's Drifter these days. Has been for a long time. I was just speaking with the Deputy Commander. She's ready for you. How's she holding up? Sloane is a soldier, and that role has given her purpose. Hope. But she has been through a great ordeal. Her own personal dark age. Yeah. That's a bad hand to be dealt. Maybe this can wait. Unless you want to tip one back. Talk about the bad old days. What is that? Motor oil? Battery acid? Only one way to find out. You and I are among the oldest of our kind. Centuries we've orbited each other. Why now? Why not? Maybe another time. I think Kaido's actually mellowed that old wolf out a bit.
I mean, they're not wrong. Both of them were from the Warlord era. Like for us, we came in around what? Technically, around 7 years ago? 7 or 8 years. That's when we came around. So it's interesting for that. And then obviously anyone who's like a new light, who went through the new light experience, they came out 4 years ago. Or is it 3 years ago? But, yeah, 3 years ago. Oh, is it? Hold on. So, root, vow, deepstone. Yeah, 3 years ago. No, 4 years ago. Yeah, you know what? Just four content drops ago. We'll go with that. And Shadowkeep. All right, stuck with you.
Shrouded in darkness. A promise of something more. Two halves of a whole, long divided. A schism between them. Reunited. A glimpse beyond. To the beginning.
You know, I think it is. I think what she, or Asa in this case, was talking about is possibly the Witness and the Traveler. Because here's the one thing when it comes down to it. If we really look at it, right? The Witness is obviously the herald of darkness, and then obviously the Traveler is the herald of light. I'd be surprised if both of them, you know, took their time, gone way, way in the past, long before they were against each other. And now, Lightfall, they come to each other. Makes sense, to me at least.
The plan's working. It's getting easier for me to parse Asa's thoughts, like a picture coming into focus. Other things are a little harder for me to wrap my head around. When I first heard of Saladin's iron war beasts, I didn't know what to think. We lost a lot of people in the Red War. The Empire took so much away from us, and now Saladin commands an Imperial Legion.
Well,
They're the reason we had to fall back and regroup on Titan.
not exactly.
Why I had to send fire teams down into the Arcology, never to return. Those Guardians died under my orders. They paid for our foothold in blood. When the pyramids arrived, there was no way in hell I'd give it all up without a fight. This is nothing compared to what others sacrificed. Completing the mission is how I honor them. Just like Saladin honors the Iron Lords, no matter who he leads into battle against our enemies. Stay the course, Guardian. Once Asa and I are ready again, it's back into the depths for us.
Oh, of course, that makes sense. Alrighty. So, Sloan confides in with you that it hasn't been easy for her to see Saladin in command of the Iron War Beast. We've lost a lot of people in the Red War, she explains. Now Saladin commands an Imperial Legion. She recounts how many Guardians under her own command lost their lives to establish such a foothold in Titan, and how she refused to give it up that ground without a fight. Despite her initial reservation, she recognizes that Saladin wouldn't have joined Kaido's War Council unless she felt it was noble and right. Choosing to trust his judgment, she tells you she'll soon be ready for another dive. Yay! Oh yeah, I should get rid of this one. Fuck that shit. That one's terrible. And we get the Thin Trustmates. Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that the most that I can get is 99? No shot. Oh, that is dumb. That is actually really fucking stupid. That's stupid. That actually does piss me off a little bit. Yay. Can't wait for that to break on me. It did the last season. Okay, so we have like one more final mission still to go. All right. Yeah, so like I said, like it is, I just need the flora from the midnight round and then I'll be fine. Flawless pressurized deep. That shouldn't be too hard. Anyway, that's essentially like the main things for that. That is actual bullshit. That is dumb as fuck. Why? I don't like it. I think that is just the dumbest thing possible. Like, what the hell? Oh, yeah, a little story thing here.
Saladin Forge. To what do I owe the pleasure? Just thinking about the bad old days, like you said. And that bar you used to tend at the base of Fellwinter Peak. You went by Wu Ming, as I recall. Made some coin selling drinks to the Iron Lords. Then spent it hiring them to do jobs on the side. Remember all of that? Yeah, I remember. You left out the part where you threatened to burn it down. Maybe I should have. I never asked you why you ran that little operation. What did you stand to gain? With how your pack of wolves tipped their bartender? Not much. That place never got too busy, but I had my regulars, and they all had their problems. Some of them just weren't that easy to see from on top of a mountain. Maybe I wanted to call them to your attention. Ah, so you had a better perspective. Not better, just different. I suppose I can see the value in that. Everything's got value, old wolf. You just gotta know where to look.
All right. So, with that, I'm not surprised by the whole fact that they're both like kind of at odds at each other right now. Just because when it comes down to that whole type of situation, it's still, you know, it is still touch and go for them. Again, they've known each other for centuries, but they really haven't been buddy-buddy up until recently. Since, you know, one of them is a good old buddy who doesn't really take kind to a certain situations, you know? But regardless of that, that's kind of it for the weekly stuff. But we do still have some more story that we can check out under the Veil Containment, of course. Now, I'm kind of curious about what we're going to find out this week, at least like today. Because I'm curious if there is anything interesting that we find out, but, you know, who knows? Who actually knows? I mean, they know, but who knows? I'll find out. Let's see here.
Chioma Essie, incident log. The Vex.
Interesting.
Yeah.
6 weeks ago, our settlement came under attack by an intrusion of Vex forces. It was a test of our defenses for a larger incursion. Yesterday, scouts discovered temporarily realigned architecture just outside the stronghold limits. The Vex had retroactively inserted themselves into Neptune's history, just like they did on Venus. But unlike Venus, something stopped them short of our habitat. They had to fight their way in. I think it's the Veil. Something about the paracausal nature of the Veil is preventing their temporal excursions. But the Vex aren't giving up. They did something to Neptune's magnetic field. Wove a sim into it. A screen to isolate us. It's a double-edged sword. The Vex screen hides us from the outside world, from whatever's happened. So we're safe. Ish. But we're stuck with the Vex. Thankfully, they're slow to react. It's giving us time to research countermeasures. It's almost our anniversary. I should do something for Maya. She'll forget. She's always so busy. Computer, prepare food synthesis. File, Chioma date night 6. Oh, and add a bottle of port.
Osiris? You alright? Yes, I'm fine. I just, saw shadows. My choices. Saint. Dr. Sandaresh and I walked very similar paths of obsession, it seems. Oh. Nevertheless, it appears that Neomuna's history is deeply tied to the Vex. Hopefully the next decryption will shed more light on this.
Possibly. But yeah, I mean, it is, you know, after that kind of gained the understanding. I think what may be going on here is just like the Traveler, right? The Veil is not something the Vex can really simulate, or at least can control, at least through their functions and their matrices. I wouldn't be surprised if any time that the Vex tries to do some temporal timey-wimey shit, the Veil just untangles it, so to speak. Because, again, it is paracausal, just like how it feels like the light is also paracausal, I would say, in a sort. Where it's not easily something that they can anticipate, something they can simulate, and something they can easily study. But, unlike the, you know, unlike the light, where the Traveler was able to kind of go all over the place and kind of avoid having to worry about Vex direct impact on it, at least up until, you know, the solar system. Neptune, they were able to kind of get to it before we were able to harness it. Because again, the Traveler was here as a terraformer for decades. or actually in this case, centuries. And so I wouldn't be surprised that at that point, when the Vex decide to come in, because we already have something set up with the Traveler and its defenses and all that, it was a lot harder for them to be able to go into it. But because again, since the Vex kind of went in and kind of was able to surround, so to speak, cover up the veil, we weren't able to find it until our good old friend Osiris just kind of woke up from his coma and is like, hey, by the way, there's some shit over on Neptune. We may want to check into that eventually. So it's interesting to see the different parallels for this, because one, there's the parallel of obviously Chiomesi and Maya Sundaresh compared to, you know, Saint 14 and Osiris, you know, both of them having partners that care a lot for them, but they're so obsessed and they're so involved into themselves that they kind of forget that. And also, it's in the different studies, although again, because of the way that it works, it's in obviously different areas, but still down the same path. And I think it's actually very interesting because again, you know, Osiris has now kind of seen that reflection come up. Especially since, you know, now that he doesn't have the light and all that stuff, and I think he's starting to kind of realize what limited capability he has and, you know, what time he's kind of wasted at that point. But anyway, I think that's it for now. It's likely the next episode is going to be a couple of us doing a tier 7 run. Hopefully we'll be able to do it flawless, but again, it is up to the system itself for that. But with that being said, we don't got anything else. So I'll see you guys next time. Take care.